We open not with a goofball eating junk food, but with a horrifying sci-fi tragedy. Spaceships burning, people screaming, and two little brothers fleeing in an escape pod. It's Rem, Vash, and Knives. Right off the bat, Stampede says, "Hey, remember how the original show waited 20 episodes to explain the trauma? Yeah, we're doing that in the first 30 seconds. Fast forward to the present day on the planet No Man's Land. We meet Meryl Streif. But wait, she's not an insurance agent anymore. She's a reporter, a junior reporter looking for a scoop, accompanied not by the tall, beautiful Amazonian queen Millie Thompson, but by Roberto. Roberto is a cynical, alcohol-fueled boomer who represents every exhausted journalist tired of chasing clickbait. They are looking for the humanoid typhoon, a man worth $6 million double dollars. Wait, only $6 million? Yeah, inflation hasn't hit yet. In this timeline, he's a budget disaster. They find him hanging upside down in the desert, dehydrated and looking like a wet cat. This is our new Vash the Stampede. He's smaller, softer, and his hair looks less like a broom and more like a K-pop idol who just woke up. He's not the rugged mystery man. He's a sad, anxious puppy with a prosthetic arm. They arrive in the town of Juniora Rock and immediately the conflict starts. The military police want Vash. Vash wants peace. And then the missiles start flying. We get our first taste of Vash's pacifism here. In the old show, Vash played the fool to hide his skill. Here, Vash is actively pleading, dodging, and using a bullet to deflect a cluster missile in midair with the precision of a Call of Duty aimbot. It ends with Vash scaring off the bad guys. But Meryl isn't fooled. She sees the sadness in his eyes. The humanoid typhoon isn't a disaster. He's a magnet for it. If Episode 1 was the tech demo, Episode 2 is the boss fight tutorial. Vash is trying to run away to keep the town safe, but he's stopped by the Nebraska family. Now, in the 90s anime, the Nebraskas were goofy villains. In Stampede, they are terrifying hulks of biomechanical horror, who are still kinda goofy. We have the dad and his son, Govsef, who is essentially a giant baby inside a mech suit. The visual comedy here is peak Studio Orin. Vash running around like a 1920s cartoon character, slipping, sliding, and dodging punches that shatter concrete. It's physical comedy done with rigid body dynamics, which shouldn't work, but it does. But the real kicker is the introduction of the overarching threat. The Nebraskas aren't just bandits. They are desperate. They need the plant, the bioorganic battery that powers human life, to save their own dying town. Vash, being the bleeding heart that he is, ends up helping the people trying to capture him. He saves Govsef, risking his own life. This episode cements the core loop. Vash tries to save everyone, the world tries to kill Vash, and Roberto drinks whiskey and complains about his back pain. Okay, things escalate quickly. Usually in anime, the main villain sits in a chair in a dark room for 11 episodes drinking wine. But Trigun Stampede has zero chill. Enter Millions Knives. In the original, Knives was a shadow. Here, he walks into town like he owns the mortgage. The sound design when Knives uses his powers, millions of tiny razor-sharp blades forming terrifying shapes, is pure ASMR for psychopaths. We also meet E.G. Mine, a villain who throws spinning discs. In the old show, he was a monster of the week. Here, he's a terrifying zealot, but he's nothing compared to Knives. Knives arrives to steal the town's plant. Vash tries to stop him, but we see the massive power gap. Vash is a peacekeeper. Knives is a god. Knives literally plays the piano on the air while dissecting the town's defenses. It's pretentious, it's horrifying, it's beautiful. Knives steals the plant, leaving the town of Juniora Rock to slowly die without power. Vash failed. This isn't the love and peace victory we are used to. This is Vash watching his brother commit genocide in slow motion while high-definition CGI tears stream down his face. After the depression of Episode 3, we need a palate cleanser. Or rather, Vash needs food. The gang is driving through the desert when they hit something. It's a man wrapped in cloth carrying a giant cross. Ladies and gentlemen, the priest has arrived. Nicholas D. Wolfwood. Wolfwood in Stampede is leaner, meaner, and smokes lollipops because apparently cigarettes are too difficult to animate. No, it's a censorship thing, but it actually adds to his charm. He's basically a deadly toddler constantly needing oral fixation. They get swallowed by a giant desert worm. Yes, a dune worm. Inside the worm, they have to fight for their lives. This episode is mostly about establishing the dynamic between Vash and Wolfwood. Vash is the save the worm guy. Wolfwood is the kill the worm and eat it guy. We get the iconic reveal of the Punisher Cross, a machine gun / rocket launcher laser show. They blast their way out, eat some worm meat, gross, and form an uneasy alliance. The boy band is assembled. The sad boy, the angry priest, the nosy reporter, and the drunk uncle. Here is where the show decides to stop being a fun adventure and starts hurting your feeling. They arrive at a windmill village where they encounter Monev the Gale. In the 90s, Monev was just a big guy with guns. In Stampede, he is a tragic, mutated experiment. We learn that Wolfwood knows him. They were in the orphanage together. Monev has been twisted by the Eye of Michael organization into a mindless killing machine. The fight is brutal. Vash is dodging chaotic minigun fire, but he refuses to shoot back. Wolfwood is screaming at Vash to just pull the trigger. He's already dead. Put him out of his misery. This is the central conflict of Trigun. Is killing mercy? Is pacifism just selfishness? Vash manages to subdue Monev without killing him, proving his point, until the villains remote detonate Monev's suit, killing him anyway. Vash is devastated. Wolfwood is furious. The audience is realizing that this fun romp is actually a tragedy wearing a trench coat. Flashback time. We get the full lore dump. We see Vash and Knives as children on the colony ship. We see Rem Savarim, the woman who taught them everything. The contrast is stark. Vash sees humans as flawed but worth saving. Knives sees them as parasites eating the resources and abusing the plants, who are their sisters biologically speaking. We witness the Big Fall, the event where the ships crashed. We see Knives' betrayal. This context is crucial because it recontextualizes Vash not as a hero, but as an enabler. By not stopping Knives back then, he feels responsible for every death since. This episode is visually stunning, taking place in a sterilized white sci-fi environment that contrasts perfectly with the dusty brown of the rest of the show. It's clean, cold, and heartbreaking. We are back in the present, but the focus shifts to the Punisher himself. The gang is traveling on a sand steamer, a giant boat on wheels, towards the city of July. But first, we have to deal with Wolfwood's trauma. We get flashbacks to the Hopeland orphanage. We see how Wolfwood was experimented on, how his body was modified to heal instantly, making him nearly immortal but constantly in pain. He drugs himself with vials just to keep moving. Enter Livio the Double Fang, a character who was tragically cut from the original anime but was a fan favorite in the manga. Stampede brings him back with glorious justice. Livio is Wolfwood's childhood friend, now brainwashed into an assassin. The fight choreography here is insane. It's a gun fu ballet in a narrow corridor. Wolfwood fighting the only person he ever loved while trying to protect Vash, who is currently trying to stop the ship from crashing. It's chaotic energy at its finest. The sand steamer arc continues. The ship is on a collision course. The Bad Lads gang is here, but they are honestly just fodder for the emotional damage happening between Wolfwood and Livio. Vash does his thing. He dives into the ship's plant chamber to communicate with the entity powering the engine. This is where Stampede gets trippy. Vash connects with the plant hive mind. It's a psychedelic light show of blue tendrils and cosmic horror. Vash manages to calm the plant and stop the ship, saving everyone. But the victory is hollow. Wolfwood is forced to do the unthinkable to save Vash. He shoots Livio himself. He puts a bullet in his own brother to stop the rampage. It's a moment that screams therapy bills, leaving Wolfwood holding the bag of trauma. Meanwhile, Meryl and Roberto are starting to uncover the truth about Vash. He isn't human. He's a plant, a walking, talking power source. This revelation changes Meryl's perspective from he's a hunk to oh my god, he's a biological miracle. We finally reach the terminal. The gang arrives at a hidden facility where Knives has been cooking. And by cooking, I mean creating hideous bio-monsters. Vash confronts Knives again. This time, we see the full extent of Knives' plan. He wants to impregnate the plants? Birth a new race? It's very H.R. Geiger meets Neon Genesis Evangelion. He wants to create independence, plants that can move and think like him and Vash, freeing them from human slavery. The visual scale here explodes. We are talking about cathedral-sized bioarchitecture. Knives is giving full villain monologues about the superiority of their species. Vash tries to fight, but he gets overwhelmed. We get a sequence inside Vash's memories that is essentially a therapy session gone wrong. Knives is trying to delete Vash's love for humanity, literally formatting his hard drive. Roberto gets shot while protecting Meryl. Vash is captured. Wolfwood is battered. It's looking like a game over screen. But before they can save Vash, we have to say goodbye. The drunk uncle finally clocks out. Roberto, wounded from the previous fight, dies in the elevator. In his dying breath, he passes his tiny Derringer pistol to Meryl, effectively passing the torch. Meryl isn't the rookie anymore. She's the survivor. Vash is taken to the city of July. In the original anime, July was a crater, a backstory. In Stampede, July is the setting for the finale. We are witnessing the prequel to the legend. We meet Zazie the Beast properly here. Zazie is a hive mind of insects controlling a human body. Zazie is a wild card observing the conflict between Vash and Knives like a chaotic neutral dungeon master. Knives is plugging Vash into the main network. He wants to use Vash's unique gate ability to open a portal to somewhere else, another dimension, the higher plane. It's metaphysical and weird. They find Vash floating in a tank looking like a pickled egg. Knives initiates the synchronization. This is the setup for the big one. Vash is trapped in his own mind, lost in a dream of happiness with Rem. It's the Lotus Eater trope. He's happy, so he doesn't want to wake up. But outside, his body is being used to rewrite reality. Knives is turning the city of July into a massive organic factory. Wolfwood fights the elites. Meryl breaks into the control room. She screams at Vash. She uses the power of friendship and screaming to reach him. Vash wakes up, and he is pissed. Well, not pissed. He's determined. He breaks out of the tank. His power flares. His hair stands up. For a brief moment, we see the jagged, spiky silhouette of the 1998 Vash. It's a visual callback that made every old-school fan scream into their pillows. He confronts Knives. No more running. It's a brother-on-brother duel at the top of the world. The finale. The animation budget here is simply, yes, Vash versus Knives. Ideology versus ideology. Gun versus blades. Vash tries to solve it peacefully one last time. He tries to create a massive cube of energy to contain the explosion Knives is causing. He is compressing the energy of a nuclear bomb into a box the size of a Rubik's Cube. The strain is tearing him apart. Knives tries to take the cube. They struggle. They fly into the upper atmosphere. The camera work is dizzying, spinning around them as they plummet from space. And then, Knives tries to grab Vash. Vash shoots. He doesn't shoot to kill, he shoots to disarm. But in the chaos, the energy is released. Knives is burned away, seemingly. Vash falls. The city of July disappears. It's the July incident, the event that put the $60 billion bounty on Vash's head in the first place. We just watched the origin story. We cut to the aftermath, a massive crater where the city used to be. Vash is missing. The world is in shock. The epilogue's a time skip, 2 years later. Meryl Streep is back. She's hardened. She's visiting a grave. She gets a tip about a man known as the Humanoid Typhoon. We see a figure walking in a new town. He's got spikier hair, he's wearing a darker coat, he's hiding his face. And the show ends with the announcement, final phase coming soon. So was it worth it? Was it worth sacrificing the cel-shaded nostalgia for this 3D reimagining? Absolutely. Trigun Stampede isn't a replacement for the 1998 anime. It's a companion piece. It's a prequel that remixes the manga canon into something fresh. It fixes the pacing issues of the old show, gives Knives actual character motivation beyond I'm evil lol, and elevates Wolfwood to the tragic hero he was always meant to be. Sure, I miss Millie. We all miss Millie. Her absence is a hole in my heart that no amount of beautiful particle effects can fill. But Roberto served his purpose as the grounded, cynical lens through which we view this crazy world. The animation by Studio Orange is a technical marvel. The facial expressions capture micro-emotions that 2D sometimes misses. The action is fluid, heavy, and kinetic. It proves that CGI anime doesn't have to look like a plastic toy commercial. It can be cinema. Vash the Stampede is back, not as the invincible goofball, but as a scarred, tired, and infinitely lovable saint who keeps trying to push a boulder up a hill, even when that boulder is his genocidal brother. It's emotional, it's stylish, and it hits you right in the feels. It's not just good for a CG anime, it's just damn good anime. But what did you think? Did you miss the 90s grunge? Or are you down with the K-pop Vash aesthetic? Did you cry when Wolfwood ate the lollipop? Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this recap, smash that like button like Knives smashing a piano, subscribe for more anime nonsense.